Your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Tasmanians are being warned tonight to be on alert after a woman was grabbed and held in a headlock while walking through Launceston's Cataract Gorge yesterday. Our reporter Jessica Moran has more.
Police say it was on this track at about 4:15 yesterday afternoon that the woman was assaulted. The woman, aged in her 30s, was grabbed while on the Daffodil Walk, which is also known as the Lower Snake Gully track.
As she was proceeding down that track, probably about halfway along, she was approached by a male person. That person has grabbed her into a headlock, put his hand over her mouth.
She was able to wrestle her way out and made a run for it down to the gorge basin.
She was not injured in any way, but was obviously quite shaken up by the matter.
So too were those in the gorge today.
As a father of 3 daughters, it surprises me and concerns me.
I think they should be able to exercise without fear. I think that it's, unless it becomes a pattern, you know, that it's probably one of those rare things, and if women take that to say, now I can't, then they're just kind of restricting their lives, and I think that's a mistake.
The man is described as wearing a khaki shirt, baggy track pants, being between 174 centimetres and 180 centimetres tall, with blonde bushy eyebrows. He has a fair complexion, blonde scruffy hair, slim build and weighs around 70 kilos, with a slender face and a pointed chin. He's aged in his early to mid-20s. Since the incident, dozens of posts have been shared on social media appealing for runners and walkers to be alert and aware of their surroundings. Anyone who has seen the man is asked to come forward. Police say this is an isolated incident and women shouldn't be deterred from exercising alone.
4 bandits remain on the run tonight after a brazen crime spree through the greater Launceston area. Police say it started at around 2 this morning, with the group trying to break into several businesses, including a news agency, bottle shop and post office. The most significant damage was caused to the Mowbray celebrations, with a roller door and glass window broken. Police say they were travelling in a white dual cab ute, which was stolen, and a small blue sedan.
We believe that may have been connected on the basis that that vehicle was later recovered in Invermay, burnt out, right in the middle of the times that our other burglaries were occurring. So we think they might have travelled to the country together.
Anyone with information is asked to come forward. Firefighters have stopped the spread of a blaze that took hold of an apartment complex in Newtown this afternoon. 1 unit has been destroyed, but the 7 adjoining apartments only experienced minor smoke damage.
Part of a unit complex going up in flames. This footage taken by a neighbour who called 000 after he heard an explosion from the other side of the wall.
So I was studying, and then suddenly I heard a loud bang and just went outside, just want to see what was it. And then I saw some fire out, and our clothesline was on fire as well.
Fire crews arriving at the scene in Newtown around 2:40 this afternoon.
When we got here, the unit behind me was fully involved, and the actual roof had started to collapse by the time we actually entered the premise. It was unoccupied at the time of the fire. People in the conjoined units were home.
Because this was the first time I was a bit nervous as well, and more than anything I was just wanted to make sure that if someone was inside, they had to be safe first.
With crews stopping the blaze from spreading to adjoining apartments.
We've managed to contain it to the 1 unit where the fire started, and I dare say the unit below may have a little bit of water damage, but no fire damage. So yeah, good result in that sense.
An investigation continues into the cause of the fire. Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmania News.
A 36-year-old woman has been killed in a crash overnight. 2 vehicles collided about 8 kilometres north of Buckland on the Tasman Highway just after 6. Police say her car lost control while negotiating a corner, and despite evasive action of an oncoming ute, they collided head-on. 2 people in the ute were taken to hospital in a serious but stable condition. Well, tomorrow night's federal budget will include funding for Tasmanian roads considered of strategic importance. $130 million is being set aside for the highway between Hobart and Sorell, but there's no detail on exactly what it will deliver and when.
This stretch of the Tasman Highway links a fast-growing region with the state capital, but it's straining under the pressure. Traffic jams a regular feature of the peak commutes. Tomorrow night's budget to include a $130 million allocation towards this stretch of road.
This is an infrastructure budget. It certainly is a regional budget.
So I mentioned the Arthur Highway, the Tasman Highway between the airport and the golf club, Southern Sorrel bypass, Arthur Highway overtaking lanes as well. So there's some key projects that are listed there.
The RACT is concerned the Sorrel upgrade could just push the traffic problem closer to Hobart without a whole-of-city approach.
While supportive to get the traffic congestion issue fixed at Sorrel, it really needs to be part of a greater plan for Hobart to ensure that we're not just getting vehicles to the city faster and then meeting the congestion in the Hobart area.
Labor is calling the announcement a cruel hoax with no start date or timelines.
We've seen with the state Liberals and the federal Liberals lots of announcements. We've got an underground bus mall that'll never happen. The airport roundabout is 5 years, 6 years overdue, and they still haven't even commenced on the bridge across the Tamar. So this is more spin.
The profile of that will be detailed in the budget released, of course, very shortly. The important thing is that the $130 million is committed.
Future funding under the roads package includes upgrades to the Murchison and Lyell highways. Michael Breen, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's housing pressures could come under more scrutiny, with Labor joining calls for a parliamentary inquiry into the issue. The latest data shows more than 3,000 people are on the public housing waiting list.
Tasmanians urgently need an inquiry to look at the performance of this government in relation to housing and homelessness in order to get to the bottom of this very serious issue.
The fundamental right of every Tasmanian is to feel safe and to have a roof over their heads, and that's why we've responded with a comprehensive housing affordability strategy, which is, $125 million of investment.
Speaker Sue Hickey has also called for an inquiry into the sector. A new medical facility hopes to take some of the pressure off the Royal Hobart Hospital. Your Hobart Health has been opened in the old Bridges Brothers building, just 1 block away from the hospital. The GP clinic will include a walk-in after-hours service until 9 p.m, on-site pathology diagnostics, pharmacy and allied health services.
Convenience and accessibility was the problem, and we're hoping that we've provided a solution to that.
It's not the answer, but it's certainly part of the answer. As we continue to improve our hospital services, we've seen significant increase in demand.
Bulk billing will be available for children and patients over 65 who have a concession card. School students in Hobart have taken to the skies early this morning, launching their biggest project ever. Becoming airborne in a full-sized hot air balloon, it was a memorable hands-on experience outside of the classroom.
A flurry of excitement as this balloon slowly inflates, igniting the flame and eventually taking off into the sky.
When we went up, it was really, really cool. It wasn't like flying, it was like floating like you were a bird or something.
While feeling the brunt of the heat.
As soon as you put the heat on, it zero gravity.
Yeah, it felt like you weighed nothing.
And it was really hot because the burners were in there too.
Like you were on a cloud and you weighed nothing.
Students from Dominic College in Hobart taking a slightly different mode of transport across their school this morning, getting a hands-on feel after spending this term learning about the science behind hot air balloons.
But we wanted the students to experience that lift off in the basket so that they could feel what it was like. And the heat from that propane as it's lit to lift the balloon is quite intense.
So when hot air gets heated, the particles in it move around like a disco party, and then it pushes through the cold air. That's why they do it only in the morning.
It's the first time the school has ever undertaken a project of this magnitude, giving these Year 5 students the rare opportunity to float 2 metres above the ground.
It's been really exciting, yeah. That was all anyone was talking about while on camp, and it was really, really, really cool.
An exciting venture reaching new heights. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmanian News.
This year's Launceston Heritage Awards are celebrating a decade of promoting and protecting the city's built history. The awards recognise sympathetic building works on heritage buildings and have been broadened to include works on vehicles, gardens and larger landscapes. And move over Snapchat. There is a junior photography competition encouraging students from year 3 to 12 with a theme of This Place Matters. Award entries are now open and details are available on the City of Launceston website. The 2019 Enduro World Series has come to an end with hundreds of world-class mountain bike riders taking on the Derby tracks. Thousands flocked to the region to do battle, injecting millions of dollars into the state's economy.
Launceston's Rowena Fry is still on cloud 9 after securing third place in the women's at the weekend. Up against the world's toughest competition, she managed to stay upright and finish without injury.
The crowd were phenomenal. I think locals as well as mainlanders came over, and it was just so loud and amazing atmosphere on that sort of level. Something I'll never forget.
France's Isabelle Cordier finished first for the women's, and Martin Mays from Belgium went home stoked with number 1 in the men's.
It was really tough. The riders were out there for 6 hours, 40 kilometres, over 2,000 metres of climbing across the weekend, plus practice on top of that. So a lot of the riders left here with pretty sore legs.
The event is massive for Derby, injecting millions of dollars into the region's economy.
They arrived, all the teams that arrived last Monday, so they've been here for a week already and probably not going home for a couple of days. So, to have the whole town and fair bit of the northeast booked out for 10 days is just, it's great for them and they've done really well out of it.
Many coming from far and wide to take part and test out our world-class tracks.
Just kept it smooth and had a good time. Finished, I think, 25th. I think it was the top American, but yeah, we got some work to do.
I really enjoyed the weekend in the first place. It was good weather, obviously, and a massive crowd out there, so that always makes racing really exciting.
The Dorset Council is now working on its bid to secure the competition for 2021. Jessica Moran, 7 Tasmania News.
It's been missing from shelves for a decade, but an old favourite is finally making a comeback. Boggs and George is being rolled out to bottle shops as we speak in a special limited run.
You might remember the old ads.
Gallantry is back.
And now the beer is too.
Cheers.
Boggs is breathing new life into its St George brand, releasing it on a limited run of 16,000 cartons.
It's great to work for a company that's actually listens to its drinkers, listens to its customers and is able to bring back something from the past, something that was much loved.
Behind Boggs' doors, the secret's been brewing for weeks. The label had been pulled due to poor sales. Now its nostalgic value is seen as a selling point.
There's a innate demand for Boggs and George, so let's get some more production into the brewery.
It's been 10 years since a Boggs St George passed the Tasmanians' lips, but the brewers here have listened and have decided to re-release the old favourite just before the Easter long weekend, although it does have a few changes. The alcohol content is slightly lower and the old gallantry ads,
so she can look out the front window with you,
have fallen on their sword, but we're assured the taste is how you'd remember it.
Uses citrusy hops, so yeah, you get that really nice aromatic smell and really nice refreshing aftertaste as well.
There were some real, beer adorers that adored this brand, and it's just been constant feedback across the last 8 or 9 years.
The company hints its last product, Wild Rivers, has been struggling, but Boggs is backing St George to be a winner.
I think it was a beer before its time, to be honest with you.
Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News. To football first, and North Launceston has praised its 2 former players who starred in their AFL debuts on the weekend. But on the local front, the club says it still has work to do, despite coming off a comfortable win. The reigning premier North Launceston escaped Twin Ovals with a win, but coach Taylor Whitford is irritated by costly clangers and will be asking for better.
Most of our turnovers resulted in a score, so that's our job this week and the coming weeks to reduce those.
Whitford heaped praise on the club's recent draftees Jay Lockhart and Taron Thomas, who each kicked their first goal at the top level on the weekend.
We finished the game, we had a look at Jay's afterwards. It was a pretty classy goal, which was great to see. And Taron's a class player. He's going to be a 100-game, 200-game player for North Melbourne. So both proud of those two.
We could see plenty of games from Lauderdale's new face. Sam Burge booted 3 for the side in his first TSL game after being plucked from Canberra. And he's already good mates with coach Darren Winter.
I was out fishing with him last weekend, which was good fun. Probably have to try and stay on his good side, I guess. But yeah, no, loving working with him.
At the tribunal, Launceston's Harvey Griffiths has copped a one-match ban for striking Glenorchy's Reece Mott. The Hobart Zebras coach admits it was frustrating seeing so many missed opportunities in his side's 2-2 draw with Launceston City.
But the biggest thing to me is we can't handle a game. We're 2-1 up with 3 minutes to go and we're giving the ball away. We've just got to slow it down and keep the ball. We can keep it in training, we can't keep it again. So we give them the chance and they took it. That's the price of penalty.
Georgia Nesbitt has cleaned up at the Sydney International Rowing Regatta, winning 4 golds and a silver. She was among 17 local winners, with Tasmania also reclaiming the prestigious Victoria Cup for the first time since 2015, after beating the other states in the lightweight women's quadruple scull. Tasmanian Alice Randall has won gold in the 10,000 metres walk at the National Athletics Championships in Sydney. Anna Blackwell was second. And Victorian Joel Younger has claimed this year's Tasmanian snooker title after beating Steve Mifsud 6 frames to 2 at the Workers' Club last night. The votes are in for the Player of the Year in the TSL after round 1, with Sam Siggins collecting 3 votes for Lauderdale against North Hobart. Glenorchy's Aidan Grace was best of field in the clash against Launceston. And a 6-goal haul sealed the 3 votes for Taylor Whitford in the Northern Bombers' win over the Tigers.
Good evening, there's Stephen here in the studio who threw this tie out after St Kilda lost 7 of their last 8 games last year. He wants it back now, good luck. Overnight temperatures dropped into the negative. Lake Leak hit -2 last night. Hobart and Devonport reached 17 today. Launceston scrambled to 20 to be the warmest around the state, and Burnie 19. Low Head and Friendly Beach is also on 19 today. Flinders Island and Ooze 18, Grove 17, St Helens 16 and King Island 15 degrees. No rain today, but we did have some low cloud over the west, far south and northeast of the state. More low cloud evident over the coasts of Victoria, New South Wales and Queensland. The far north and the southwest of WA had thunderstorms from the cover there, and the rest of the nation mostly free of cloud. Tomorrow the high moves over the Tasman Sea, extending a ridge over central Australia. A cold front crosses southern waters, a trough over Western Australia and northern Queensland. Winds northwesterly and up to 15 to 25 knots over most waters, increasing to 30 knots later over the west, lighter inland and over the north. A strong wind warning from Southeast Cape to Sandy Cape has been issued. Hobart 20 tomorrow, mostly sunny. Adventure Bay, a bit of sunshine as well, 17 the top, a cold night for Tarraleah, an early frost and 18 degrees. Launceston 19 and partly cloudy, 18 for Devonport and Bridport with the same sort of forecast. Burnie tomorrow, partly cloudy and 18, 19 the top for Strawn, Marrawar 18 degrees. St Helens tomorrow, 20 the top and a sunny afternoon, Swansea 21 along with Whitemark on Flinders Island. UV down into the moderate range tomorrow. On Wednesday, showers over the west and far south extending throughout during the afternoon, then retreating to the northeast later. Fine on Thursday apart from a possible light shower over the north, and on Friday showers over the north but fine for the south and southeast. Partly cloudy in Perth tomorrow, sunny in Adelaide and Melbourne, a shower clearing from Sydney and a few showers forecast for Brisbane. A little bit of cloud around at the moment, 14 in Hobart, Launceston 15 at the moment, Devonport 14 degrees. Saints fans celebrating 2 wins in a row. That doesn't happen often, Rachel.
No, it doesn't, but it's better than 2 losses in a row, isn't it, Murph? Thanks for that. That's all your news for now. I'll be back later with updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night.